We're back to class 2 of modal verbs and o seu clique no inglês. We're going to continue, right, talking about modals. We saw in the first class, we saw can, could, may, might, could. We saw should, ought to, right? And now we're going to see some more, okay? Just to refresh your minds, all modal verbs, right, associated to their ideas. When you think about something, you can express using a certain modal verb, and when you read or when you hear a modal being used, you can relate it to a specific idea. Yes? Let's see. What is the first idea we see now? Obligation or strong necessity. I have to speak English to get a promotion. Aha. So this is an obligation, or this is a very strong necessity for me to speak English, right? I have to speak English to get a promotion. Same idea. I've got to speak English to get a promotion. Same idea. I must speak English to get a promotion. Look at how they are formed, right? I have to, this is the modal verb, right? I have to, bare infinitive. I've got to, bare infinitive. I must, bare infinitive. Must doesn't change, right? I must, she must, they must. There is no musts, right? I have to changes, right? I have to speak English. She has to speak English. For he, she, it has to. And I've got changes too. For he, she, it is she's got, he's got. I have got, she has got, she's got, the contracted form, right? But the idea is the same, right? How can I ask questions about those ideas of necessity and obligation? Using have to, do you have to speak English to get a promotion? Does she have to speak English to get a promotion? Like we form questions in the present, simple, right? Do you, do I, do they, do we, and does he, does she, does it. And this doesn't change because you use does here. There's no has in the questions, right? Do you have to speak English to get a promotion? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Okay? Similar to the answers in the present. Have you got to speak English to get a promotion? Yes, I have to. Or yes, I've got to. No, I haven't to, or no, I haven't got to. Okay? Yes, she has to. No, she hasn't to. And the third person singular, the auxiliary is has, hasn't. Just like we do in the present perfect. Okay? And the question with must. Must you speak English to get a promotion? Only invert, right? Like you do with can, could, should, okay? Must you speak English to get a promotion? And then you have these answers, these short answers. In the affirmative, yes, I must. In the negative, no, I don't have to. And we need to pay attention here. Yes? Why? Because the negatives have different ideas. If you use you don't have to come tomorrow, it's a holiday, or you haven't got to come tomorrow, it's a holiday. The idea is no necessity. It's not necessary to come tomorrow. It's a holiday. Okay? You haven't got to come. You don't have to come tomorrow. No necessity. It's not necessary. Mustn't is different. Mustn't, as the negative of must, has a different idea. It's not about no necessity. It's prohibition. When you use mustn't, you're talking about an idea of prohibition. You're expressing an idea of prohibition. I mustn't give you my phone number. It's dangerous, right? In Portuguese, you would say, eu não tenho que vir amanhã. Não é necessário. Não é necessário que eu venha amanhã. Here, in English, it would be, eu não posso te dar meu telefone. Ok? Eu não posso. Tamer, can I use I can't? Yes, you can. Another way to express prohibition is I can't. I can't give you my phone number. It's dangerous. Okay? So here we see can't. The idea is prohibition. Okay? Can't, prohibition. But we've already seen can't as the lack of ability in class number 1 for modals. Okay? So can't can be associated to two ideas. Ability, no ability, right? And prohibition. What about logical conclusion? John must be at home. We're in quarantine. This is the situation now. We're in quarantine. Yes, we can't leave our homes, only if it's really necessary. So what is my logical conclusion about John? He must be at home. This is not that I am sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost sure. I'm like 98% sure that if I try to reach John at home, he's going to be there. Okay? But I'm not 100% sure. Because if I am 100% sure, I say John is at home. When I say John must be at home, I am almost sure. It's a logical conclusion. I have lots of evidence. I have lots of certainty, but not total certainty that he is at home. Since we are in quarantine, I can say that he can't be at the office. I'm not saying that he isn't at the office. I'm saying that he can't be at the office. I am almost sure, I am 98% sure that John isn't at the office right now because we are in quarantine. Probably he is at home working from home, right? Doing home office. Okay? Some of these modals that we have studied in this class or in the previous class form the past form, form the past with the auxiliary verb have. Right? So you have for logical conclusion about the past, you have John must have been. So it's must plus have plus the past participle. John must have been at home. He was sick last week. He was sick. What is my logical conclusion about John? Last week he was sick. He must have been at home. I can't be 100% sure, but he must have been at home. Because he was sick, he can't have come to the office. Can't have past participle of the verb come. Come, came, come. He can't have come to the office. Ok? John deve ter ficado em casa. Ele não pode ter vindo para o escritório. Okay? Just to compare with Portuguese. But again, translation is not the best for you to understand modal verbs, especially because when you translate back, you may go to a different modal verb, the one that doesn't express the idea that you're trying to convey. that you're trying to show. And another one, another idea of possibility, but in the past, you use may, might, or could, the three possible modal verbs that we studied in modals 1, plus have, plus the past participle. He may have been there. He might have been there. He could have been there. I'm not so sure. Okay? Here it would be like if must have been at home is 98% sure, may, might, could have been at home is like 50% sure. I'm not sure. Okay? I'm not sure, I'm not so sure, but I don't have so much evidence as I have here. Here I have less evidence, so 50% he may have been there, he could have been there, I'm not sure. Now, lots of information, lots of exercises for you to do to put this to the test, right? Put this to practice, put it into practice. Because it's practice that is going to make you get a good command of modal verbs. Like everything else we have studied and everything we are yet to study, right? We're still going to study. Go to your grammar exercise book, application, website, you choose, but make sure you do exercise about modal verbs, the ones that we saw in this second class, right? The many ideas we saw and the many modal verbs associated to them. Thanks a lot for being with me until here, right? And I'll see you in class 13.